Hello, welcome to the Matriarchy. I'm here with Kath, and today we have some special guests that we're both very excited to be talking to. Kath, you want to introduce your friends?
Yes, I'm really excited for this opportunity. As many of you know, especially if you listen to episode 1, I grew up in Spain. Well, I spent 5 years there from the time I was 8 until we moved away when I was 13. And I didn't speak any Spanish, and within the matter of weeks or months, I was welcomed with open arms to this totally different culture. And it was full immersion. I had to learn the language and went to a Spanish school. And I had the opportunity to go back after 30 plus years, a long time, just this past summer. And I was so excited because I have, as you know, I have 4 children, and my husband and I brought all 4 children to Logroño, and it was like the trip of a lifetime for me so that my kids could understand a little bit of what it was like to live there and my experiences, but also to really understand what it was like a little bit to live in a different culture, and to see that outside of a hotel room or a museum. And it was a wonderful opportunity to reconnect with some old and dear friends. And so I would like to introduce you to my former neighbors, family, friends, and just all around 2 wonderful women, Elena Alvariño and Mónica Alvariño Blanes. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you for this
Thank you so
opportunity.
much.
Really, thank you very much.
Very nice.
Thank you. And we are very emotional because, as you were saying, I quite can recall the very first day that I saw this little girl. It's not a little girl anymore. I do remember that day very clearly in my mind. So it's great to be here. And
Oh, that's wonderful.
yeah,
I kind of wonder what was it like, because, okay, so for our audience, and this is totally dating me, Dallas and Dynasty were the big shows of the day. You remember? And
Did
like
you have
my
them in Spain too? Yeah.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Cheers.
And
And Cheers. I
Cheers.
do remember watching Cheers
Yeah.
with your family in your lounge.
And like
Yeah.
in my mind, I'm like, does everyone think that we're tall and blonde and blue-eyed like Dallas, and we're like just dripping like and then we show up and we're like short and half Italian and like, who are these people?
Oh, they were great fun. Very open, very
Very
much.
open.
I didn't
Yes.
expect, I don't know why, but I thought that we were far opener, than other cultures. But maybe it's because the muses, who were this open and this funny and this hospitable. From the word go, you were hospitable.
Yeah. So
And
how
very
old were you ladies when you met Kath?
I think I was 14.
Yeah.
14? Okay.
14?
14.
Yes.
I was like,
13, 14.
no, you were younger.
Yeah,
No,
I
you
was,
were
yes.
younger.
You
I
were
was
I
younger.
younger.
was
Yes.
If I was
Because I
9,
do
you were only like
Yes.
10
Yeah.
or
Because I do
12.
remember that I was 14 or 15 and I was coming back from one of my trips in England because my parents used to
You
send
were
us.
15.
Yes.
And I was 10.
Yeah,
You were
much younger,
8.
yes.
That
Kath.
tracks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think I
I
was
s-
10.
I do remember that very day because I started, getting to know Ellen, Kathy's
That's my
sister.
older sister. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
right. And we hit it off from the very first moment. And I was coming back from England from one of these long summers, and I had this beautiful English accent, which you all ruined together from the very first moment. And I do remember that. And Ellen was like, "What posh accent is that one? You're not going to use that accent, those expressions." So I don't know where that accent is gone. I remember that and lots of many other things in that
Mm.
house.
Mm.
Beautiful. It was so great, after all these years to see this beautiful woman coming back
Oh, it was wonderful.
with all this family behind her.
All these
Because
Yes.
all of them amazing. They behaved
Very
so
good
well.
people.
I mean, and they were like, I don't know if they were, well, I know they were not pretending, but they behaved so well. And I think that they had a good time. And the weather was terrible. It was scorching.
Oh,
was
yes.
super
Today
hot.
is a beautiful day. Today is 26.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. We
But
had
yesterday were 42.
We don't know what that means.
That's in
We're
You know.
Fahrenheit.
Let me get my calculator out.
Yeah. Double it and add 30 or something. Yeah.
200.
Or 3.
So yeah,
Well, it was an interesting experience for my kids as well because Elena runs her own English academy. It's an after-school tutoring program, and you can talk to us
right.
a bit about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I am. I run it together with another friend of mine. We've been doing this for 25 years or so. It's not only English, but also we provide, other subjects that children are not doing very well at school. We actually sometimes say that we should not exist, as business, because that means that there are still things to be done at schools. Because the children who come are, first of all, because they're doing very well and they want to do better, like, getting these certificates. But at the same time, there are these great failures, in the system. So they come to us to support them and help them out with the exams.
It hasn't changed.
No, it
in all
hasn't
the,
changed
it
much.
hasn't changed
No.
nothing
Well, a
since
little, a little.
very little.
Now,
Because-
for example, many years ago, everything was based on the score that you would get in your exams. But nowadays, there are other things that are taken into account when it comes to
But
assessing.
not at school, just only if you take.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, a bit more, but not that much. So I'm happy because I started at home. I had not that money, to start
She's already at
investing.
home with her kid,
Yes,
of Sarah, which
yes, and then that was hard and having that little baby, but it was easy for me, being at home, so she could take her naps, and I was working at the same time. So I started in a humble way at home. Then I had the opportunity of opening this up, and we've been running it quite well for some years. Could be better, but can't complain.
No, that's wonderful. Well, Elena gave us the opportunity to come to her academy when we
Oh, yeah.
visited. And I just said yes without asking my kids.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they were like, what are
What
we
is
doing?
this? What class is this?
And so there's 6 of us. And so I said, well, why don't we divide into 3 groups? And then we each spent an hour with your students who were practicing their English, and they were just lovely. And it, it was so funny because my youngest is 12, my oldest is 22, and in between, and they had such different experiences, but they all, I'm sure they were completely embarrassed just to meet other kids their age and have to talk to them. But I think they all really appreciated the opportunity too. And I have to say, your students are just lovely. It was just a pleasure to speak to them.
Thank you. Thank you. It was great of you, all of you to come. I was, kind of suffering for the older ones, but it ended up, being very, very, very good, a very nice experience. And my students, the ones who are taking the certificates, they're there because they want to. There's a difference between those who are, made to be there and those who really want to. So it was like, we're going to have the opportunity of talking to people who actually speak better than our teacher, who's me. So it was great, and I do appreciate it, and they will always remember that. I know.
Well, it was wonderful to have the opportunity for like cross connection, and
Intercambiar las culturas.
and one of my kids, Drew, he said that was one of the highlights of his whole trip, is that he had the opportunity to speak to kids his own age, and you don't get those opportunities. Even when you travel, it's hard.
No.
It's
Yeah,
hard to
yeah.
make those connections with like people who aren't involved in the travel industry. It was
Very
really great for
nice.
our family as well. And it was nice to see where you come from.
Thank you. Really. Here in Spain, it's like, the more certificates and things like that you have, the better.
So I'm curious, Elena, you started a business with another woman. How was that process? Is that common for women to own their own businesses in Spain? Like, tell us more about like the role of women in work and that balance in your life.
Right. I think that we have quite a few issues if you want to start up your new business. Being a freelancer, a self-employed person, we're burdened. With lots of taxes.
A lot.
Yes, a lot.
Incredible.
I sometimes think that if we decided not to pay those taxes, those who are self-employed employees, this would be a collapse. This all collapsed.
Excuse me. There are many YouTubers who go to United States because it's more cheaper than here to start
a startup, a business.
Yes.
Yeah. So, for example, no matter whether you are on a sick leave or you are not selling enough, you always have to pay a minimum. You don't have even the possibility of breathing sometimes, and relaxing. Like, for example, if you have these bad days or bad months, you have always to keep on.
Well, you have helps.
Paying tax. Yes, some aids.
Aids.
Yes,
Well, you have some aids.
Subsidies.
If you are less than 25 or
if
something
you're
like that.
Yeah.
If you're a woman.
And something I did not agree at the beginning when I started, and I do remember myself going to ask for these subsidies. That I'm talking about 25 years ago. But I do understand, women who may have children and they also have those subsidies. But at the same time, I thought, do you have to have a child to have subsidies? And at the same time, do you have to be a woman to get those subsidies? So 25 years ago, I thought that it was unfair for men.
Unfair?
Injusto.
Sí.
But I do remember that you could, if you had a child, you had more aids. I do understand.
But if you have a child and if you're alone, if you have
if you were a divorcee or you were, it was a monoparental family.
Is that still the case, or is that program?
Oh, yes. There are still subsidies. Yes. One thing that they're working on, and we're behind other countries in Europe, and now our government had to pay this huge fine, maybe it was 10 million euros, is the fact that our maternity leave was shorter than in other countries. If you go to other countries in Europe, it's amazing. Yet they got the French, they got a year, 2 years.
Yes. We have 4 months. Since
4 months.
4 months.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm there.
I was just going to say, guess what we have?
6 weeks.
Weeks. Okay.
6 weeks.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
And it's not guaranteed. Is it guaranteed?
Well,
Lisa?
no, it's not guaranteed. It's company dependent. A lot of women don't get any leave. So.
Well, I think Seguridad Social aquí,
Social Security.
Well, here is different than there, as I heard.
But I didn't know it depended.
That's why you pay so much taxes.
Yeah.
You get a lot more.
You get a lot more. Trust me. There's not much of a safety net here for people.
It depends on your company. It depends on your...
Yeah.
And one question. Is it possible, for example, if you have just a baby, you have those 6 weeks, fortunately, that you can expand that maternity leave maybe without getting paid or getting paid less money? Do you have any options?
It depends on the company and your boss.
Okay. We have here, we have the obligation. If you have obligations, if you have a baby, you have 4 months. And you have your schedule, horario, for 8 hours a day. But if you want to be with your baby, you can shorten that.
Nice.
And stay 4 hours or 3 or 5, whatever you want. Because a woman with a kid has all the benefits, which is not justo.
Fair.
You know my English? Beautiful.
Why? So are you saying it's not fair that women have...
It's not fair because, for example, as we have a company, we have 2 women who have children, and I can despedirlas, fire them until the kid is 12 years old. I don't want to fire them, but if you want to, you have a lot of problems. You have to pay them.
So you have to keep someone employed until their children are 12?
Yes.
Otherwise, you could be sued,
because el despido libre,
yes, free
fire is not. We don't have this in Spain. You can fire a person in USA, whatever you want, whenever you want, como quieras, but not here.
Okay.
Here in Spain, the worker almost in all locations is protected. Yes, the
except
enterprise,
for the salaries, which are a bit
companies
low,
have to pay. Yes.
Is that the case even if you were to show that they're stealing from you, or if they've done something that's
You can fire
really
them.
detrimental
Like
to
for
the
a cause?
business.
See,
Yeah.
Yes,
but
if you
it's,
have evidence,
Yeah.
if you have
but
the
you have to
reason
have
why,
evidence.
yes,
Mm.
yes. But if they've done something wrong or there's been embezzlement, falco or something,
Mhm.
I think that in that case the law protects you, but you will have to go to court. She knows more about this because she has more employees.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Well, in my case, for example, the ladies, it's funny because there are more and more, female teachers than men.
Mhm.
Things are changing in that sense.
Hmm.
But
Mhm.
the people I work with are most of them they're women, and we've been together for many years. Many
Mhm.
years. That's also another thing that happens in Spain. I don't know if these future generations will make a change in that sense. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but it is the fact that we like to keep the jobs that we have for many years. The
Yes.
more time, for example, you've been in a company, it means that you've been
But
loyal to that company.
but that for us with
Yes.
our ages,
At
not
our,
now.
no, that's what I said. That maybe
Yes.
things will change in this generation. That they change from one job to another and they swap
Mm.
more easily than we do. They travel abroad. They don't mind. Whereas in
But
our case,
they say now here in Spain that young people don't want to work and they have everything easy. And well, it's not.
it's not that easy.
No, it's not that easy. Not all of them. There are many people, young people, who want to work and who really want to improve their jobs and that stuff. But there's very difficult for them. Very.
Mm.
Yes, there is a brain drain in our
Yes.
Brain drain.
cerebros.
Ah, sí.
Brain
Yeah.
drain,
Yes.
and they don't want to be abroad. They wish they could be in Spain, but they are getting paid 3, 4 times, the salary that they would get in Spain. And what amazes me at the same time, because I see and I've seen my students grow up year
Ah,
after
sí.
year, and I have students who have become parents, and they come and visit and they come with their kids. That tells you my age. And and what I see is that girls are working a lot. That we have more women
Mm.
at university than men.
Mm.
Then they're starting, to breach a bit, to go to, for example, engineering courses and studies. And Lisa, I think that you've been there. And there are more and more nowadays. And the score they get, I'm not comparing for better or worse, but these are the facts that their score is better. And they're starting, to raise the figures of women at university. Sometimes we say, no, as you said, they got everything. Everything's easy for them. They are the privilege. When they decided what they want to do, 18, 19, they're amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say something that maybe takes us to Matriarchy, unless you want to say something about how you run your business, or
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. Yeah.
the advantages or disadvantages of you. She's amazing. She's just
Es que es más maja.
you should see her.
I love her.
You go into her office and she's got it's got this huge blackboard. Well, it's a
It's a glass.
whiteboard. Yes,
It's a window, and I
Yes.
write what I have to
everything.
do.
The Bible, everything is there.
Well, I started.
Or like a Tom Cruise movie, right? When you see
Yeah,
everything on the
yeah.
board.
Yeah. Oh,
No,
she's
it's
a
all
real one.
writing.
No stunts.
No. I started.
International
is-
management, like for an office, administration.
Yes.
But in the office.
I really don't want to study that. I want to study what we call it here, turismo. It's
Yes.
to
Tourism.
work in a hotel or something like that, or yes. And I want to do that or to be a teacher. And as I was very obediente,
Obedient.
obedient, my father said he has a company, and he says, "Well, you're going to study secretary, international secretary."
Patriarchy.
That sounds familiar.
Uh, and I said, "Okay, well, I really don't."
Come on.
The thing was that I was when I was 15, I started to go out with a boy, my boyfriend, and I don't want to go to San Sebastian because I want to be with my boyfriend. And
His
well, he's
sweetheart.
my
He's still his sweetheart.
see, he's still my boyfriend.
Does your husband know?
I really don't like study. And when I finished, and in June 1992, I started working with my father in the company. It's a big company with 200 or something like that employees. And I really like to work with him, but I never, ever separate personal for professional
Like
life.
Mm-hmm.
And when I live with them, with my parents at home, perhaps in Sunday meal, she tell me, "Remember me tomorrow that I have called someone in
Because
in
she
in
was
the
his
job."
secretary.
Yes, and I
Mm.
his secretary wherever I am, which I didn't like. And I want him to retire, but he doesn't want to retire because I want to leave the company, but I want to leave the company with him. But he didn't want to. And then I left because in 2002 was born Alvaro, my son. I have in 1999 I have a girl who is she was going to born, but she died the day of her birth.
Mm.
And it's okay. I am an author thanks to her.
Aw.
That's it.
I need to know more about that.
Okay. And then I started from my father to my husband.
You moved from one company to another.
Yes.
Yeah.
To another, to one man, to another man.
Also from another man.
Yes. And I do the purchase and the sales and
everything.
the human resources and the meal at home and the shop and the washing machine
Yeah,
and the baby
yeah.
and
Yep.
very good. Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Well, in 2008, when I
left.
Mhm.
left the company, is because I want to write tales for children.
Okay.
And
Oh, wonderful.
yes, and I
Yeah.
told my husband, well, I really don't know how to tell him that I want to leave a very good paid work to
To follow
write
your
tales.
dream.
Yes.
Was
And
this
then
always a dream, Monica? Did you
No.
always
No.
want to write?
no, I said it started when I lost my girl, Lucia.
Let me see.
I think it starts there, the star. And then I published it in 2019.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Yes,
I don't
19
remember when I
before
did this.
the COVID. And then I published one, which is Cubito y Chatarra.
Cubito is like a little rubbish bin, like the
Yellow
ones that
one.
have that one. In Spanish is cubito, and then it's junk.
And it talks about recycling. All the things you tiras a la basura.
You toss.
You toss.
You toss away. All the junk that is piled up ends up
to a
becoming
city, which is
It
Junk
becomes a
City.
and it's junk city.
Junk City, yes.
That's cool.
And I do the personajes,
The characters.
But you
sí, do
you
something.
mold them. You sculpt
Yes,
them.
I mold them.
Okay.
Play-Doh.
Play-Doh.
Play-Doh. Yes,
Play-Doh.
that's it.
Yes,
Yes.
that makes sense. Okay.
Okay.
Is your book
and-
for sale somewhere online or?
Oh yes, I sell now here in Logroño. I'm going to put it on Amazon.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
Amazon. Yeah. Great.
Yes, but I do, and I want to translate it with her.
Good
Yes.
joy.
That's wonderful.
Okay, we'll try. And then I have another one. All the stories I wrote is about values and friendship and love and
All
all
the
those
good
things.
stuff.
Yes, all the good
Yeah,
stuff that
lovely.
se está perdiendo.
International that we are missing.
Yes, yes, that we are missing. Yes,
Mm.
with tales with a message. Find yours.
But she's still working.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah. What do you do for your work?
In the office. Everything. Yes.
Everything.
It's true.
How do you find the balance of like work and home?
I'm going to tell you something. A secret.
Yeah.
As I told you, I do not separate professional from personal, but he does it really well. If he tell me something enfadado,
Angry.
and in the office, he goes to at home, nothing happens. But I was with my beautiful face, with my beautiful angry face, which is beautiful, and I say, estoy harta.
I am fed up
I am fed up
with
with my boss, and he says, I am fed up with the girl in the
office.
office. And then in that moment, I made a group of a WhatsApp group. We use WhatsApp here, WhatsApp,
Yeah.
and I make a group which is Cito and Mónica only work.
Okay.
And then the things for work is
They go
that
there.
WhatsApp.
Stay at work.
And now is better.
Good. That's great. That's great advice.
It's a great one, yes.
Yeah.
All my friends, or incluso even my sister, told me that it's not easy to work with your husband.
Yeah.
But it's not. But it's not as difficult as people thinks.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. But you have to have patience. Not only me, sino
but
también él,
also
but also him. Yes.
Yeah.
Both.
Makes sense.
Yes.
yeah.
Mm.
I'm thinking about something that my mother used to say to me. She had 7 kids. And as I
Yeah.
said before, at the age of 25, she already had 5. And that was like headquarters. We all had the, house chores to do. But when
Girls and
she
boys.
saw, at least when we
The
were
boys as much as the girls, Elena?
yeah,
No,
not as much.
no,
Not as much. But they did.
they
not
do
as much.
something. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
It was more us. And I remember my mother used to say to me, she was an incredible avid reader, and she
yes.
loved history and art. And she made us, watch films that nobody would watch at the time, and she would make us think and be part of the world in a time that most women wouldn't care about that. So in that sense, I feel a bit different from my friends, when I have that backup and also background. But
Yeah.
and I think that she enjoyed that also with the pros and cons, of the times. But she saw that I was doing the same, only with one daughter, but at the same time, I was working a lot. And she called me stupid because she thought, that I was like trying to prove something, that I was
It's
going
for
the
us.
extra mile. Yes, to
for
show
us.
something
Yes.
that at the same time, was making me work so many hours. It's true that I enjoy what I'm doing. And I should have also to cut down on the number of hours because in my case, I work a lot. I know, but for me, it's not working. But for her, it's
Okay.
was like, you have your
Yes.
house, you have your kid, you have everything you have. You can work less, a fewer hours. But it was like something, I don't know, in the 90s, because I cannot tell you anything before that. But as far as I can remember, it was like a challenge. You had to do
Yes.
all that. And she said that she was happier than I am, than what I was. And maybe she was right.
Yes, I think so.
Maybe. It was like something was pushing you to do something that maybe you didn't need.
Interesting.
I don't know if she was right or not, because that challenge was also interesting, or maybe, I don't know.
Well, I really want now to leave my job and stay at home.
Yeah, that's what you want us to do.
And I want to put flowers in the garden and not to think.
Yeah. And I also,
and now I can't.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know if we're asking too much of ourselves. I do remember one conversation that I had with her, and that changed my way of thinking towards men in life.
Oh, tell me.
Yeah. I was 17 or 16, and I had this very painful periods, like menstruations. That it was like, and I remember one day I had to go to school, and I just couldn't even walk. And I said, "Mom, can I stay? I'm really in pain, and I don't have any exams or anything. I just want to lay down and maybe get to school a bit later." And I do remember in my kitchen, you were in that kitchen, Kathy, and she wouldn't blink an eye, and she would say, "Okay, stay home, and whenever you have that interview in the future, I might not be there. And if you are having this pain as well, that you will be having for many years, call and cancel the interview, because somebody else, maybe a man,
Ouch.
will be behind you waiting for that vacancy. And I was like, and I did picture myself, being in my 30s, going to that interview in pain and thinking, I cannot say no to that interview. And it was like, apart from the fact that you had to deal with all the things that we had to deal with in life, that apart made things very, very difficult.
So that's really interesting because you're giving two examples of your mom that sort of contradict each other. Because on the one hand, she's telling you go out and beat the guys out there, right? But on the
That's
other
right.
hand, she said, "Wait, you're working too much."
That's right. That's right. It's true.
See.
Yes, it's true. Yeah,
That's
I
interesting.
don't know. Yes, I think that she had. I don't know if she had more time than us because we were a lot at home.
Yeah.
I can remember her going to bed very, very, very late at night, doing the ironing and
Yes.
then reading. I don't know if she had. I think she did have the time in, as years went by to do what she wanted to, because she did travel with my
Yeah.
father, and she wanted, like me, to do what I wanted to without going that extra mile, and at the same time saying to me, "This world is not a woman's world yet."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yet.
Yes.
Yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Because
Is it still a man's world in Spain?
No, yeah,
no, not as much as 20
Women are
years.
working a lot.
But it's like the government. There are women, but in the second place.
Yeah.
There are no women in the
And
first
sometimes
place.
there are
But the politicians said, all the woman, all the quality, all the, that stuff. But there are no women in the first one.
What about the corporations? Are they run by mostly men?
In that case, there are more and more. They
Sí,
have, these
there are more.
higher positions. But it's also true that on some occasions they don't get as well paid as men, having the same position as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
And you also have that question, very personal question. I don't know that it should be asked. That when you're being interviewed, they ask you whether you have any possibilities of getting pregnant or wanting to get pregnant in a near future.
Bueno,
that's illegal in the United States. Yeah, you can't ask that anymore.
It's a kind of freaky issue, it's controversial.
Yes, because why do I have to pay another person to
substitute
the person who is going to have a kid, the 9 or 5 months? Because
but in that case, I think you're talking as a manager, not as a woman.
No, as a manager. As a manager. Now, if I need a person working with me because I am alone, I take a woman of 50.
I find in Spain there's more like the culture is more in tune with the family. Like in the United States, our workplace and our home, like especially before COVID, it was like you almost didn't acknowledge that you had a family. You get 6 weeks of maternity leave. There's no paternity leave. It's still like that.
There's no paternity leave.
Only recently and by business. And so we have 4 kids. Only a few years ago, well after we stopped having kids, did my husband's company have paternity leave. So he would
Is it paid or is it just a leave?
It is now, but he took when the kids were born, he maybe took a few days of vacation. It was my mom or my mother-in-law who would come and help. Like there was the man's role in the family was almost not acknowledged culturally. And work and if you only get 6 weeks, that's not an issue because 6 weeks you can get someone back. We had to have laws that guaranteed your job after 6 weeks. So I feel like when you're describing these things, you're describing them as the worker comes first, which means the family comes first in Spain, whereas here it's the business comes first.
Yes, because I think the culture here is the point of view is different.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
because well,
And what happens to a woman who's, for example, had a baby and she had a C-section?
Nothing.
It's the same.
This-
She gets
so,
to stay
I mean, to
longer in
recover
the
from that
yeah.
is
She gets to
nothing
stay
but
4 days in the hospital
Right.
instead of 2. That's it.
One. I got 1 day in the hospital for each of my kids.
wow.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you don't get the same speedy recovery as, when you
Yeah.
had a natural birth.
Yeah. No, the family, kids, women are not supported in our country. They're just not. And so it's interesting to hear your perspective as business owners that you feel like it's gone too far the other way. So I wonder if there's a middle ground maybe between the United States and Spain, because I also could see the trouble of being a business owner and not being able to make some employee decisions for 12 years. Like that's a long time. But I think it's really interesting how far apart the two societies are in this.
I have a question for you. When I first started working after college, my first job was in London. And I remember, signing my contract. They were like, well, you have 4 weeks vacation. I was like, 4 weeks? And they're like, is that okay? And I'm like, that's amazing because 2 weeks were standard. And I was like, well, what about sick days? And they're like, if you're sick, just take a day. I'm like, oh. And like
Sí,
it, like
Si te
the
tomaras
I
el guache día libre, claro, estás muy bien.
Claro.
So how does
like
it work in the States?
oh well, like my first job back, I think they finally changed it to we get 3 weeks off, sick and vacation days. So
It's pretty
that's
normal.
it. 15
Semanas.
days.
Do you-
15 days.
15 days.
That's it.
15
but
days.
but in 15 days in summer, or in
Whole year.
No, the
pero
entire
in
year.
Navidad and Christmas. 15 days with Christmas and summer, and you have to come to Spain.
You do get holidays, but that's by company. Like if your company is open between Christmas and New Year's, you're working unless you take vacation.
Well, we have here the 30 days. 30 days, which are 4 weeks, and the Semana Santa,
Easter?
4 days,
Christmas?
Christmas,
Yeah.
and the kings, and the wise,
And the three wise men.
and the 3 wise men.
Ah, okay. So yeah, there are federal holidays that are tacked onto that. Yeah.
Bank holidays.
And
Okay,
bank
so-
holidays, yeah.
So also something that, for example, I find maybe in small cities like where we live, because I have my cousin, for example, didn't have this privilege. And it's that you leave early in the morning, maybe 8 or
Oh,
9,
yeah.
but you go home and you have lunch with your family.
Yes.
Is that even so the case now, Monica, with like a business like yours that is just, like a
Same.
9 to what we would consider like a 9 to 5 job office? You leave and you come back for lunch?
When I started working with my husband, in the morning I take Alvaro at school, and then I pick him up at 12:30 to go home to have lunch, and then at 3:30
30.
go to school until 5:30.
It's also true that some women go to work at 7:30 or 8 until 3 o'clock, and then they have the afternoon free.
I remember when I changed from one job to another, the freedom,
Oh.
of going out, change the schedule, and that's what's wonderful for me and for the kid. In Spain, we have you can short the schedule from when they was born to until 12 years old. And
Yes, you have the possibility.
yes, you have the
until you're 12.
possibility to have 4 hours or 5, to show the schedule. And I said that to reduce the schedule is better to do it from 12 years old to 25. I think that's the better thing here.
So Spain is still predominantly a Catholic country. Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
We can
but-
talk about religion.
Yes.
Not necessarily, but I was surprised. I was doing a little research to prepare for, what we were going to talk about, and I was really surprised by certain things. I was surprised that you had gay marriage 10 years
Oh,
before we
yes.
did.
Okay.
You
Matrimonio gay.
See?
Yes, everywhere.
In Spain?
We got
Yes.
that 10 years later. Like I was surprised, like as you probably know, we had abortion rights for a long time and they were taken away recently. Like
Ah,
Ya
¿qué
lo-
tal aborto?
Sí, sí, sí.
Ahora.
Sí, sí.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Sí, sí.
And yeah,
So you can
Pero,
go to jail.
¿en
some
serio?
states, it's state by state. So in Michigan, we pass a constitutional amendment so that it is legal right now, but in many states it's not legal. So
So
and you
if
can go to jail, as you said. Like
Yeah.
you can go,
not
and
good.
if you
It's
are in that
incredible.
situation in which a woman decides, you go to another state. I'm not going
Right.
to talk about.
Well,
If
in
you can
Spain, they
afford
went
it, if
to
you can take the
England.
time off, I mean, that only works if you're well off. If you
Right.
have the money and you have the
Tienes-
time.
tienes
For
dinero.
for
And
most,
do you think that
the
is a
majority.
government's decision? That
No,
Of
I
people.
don't think so.
I think it's so primitive, right? You know, to think that
Well,
it's
I'm
also
not.
true that it's not the best of situations, of course, for nobody. But
Yeah.
the government should not decide what I want to do in that sense or many other
Well,
senses.
it's-
Of course,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be.
There's also attacks on LGBTQ rights right now, and also it's currently legal LGBTQ marriage, but that is in question right now. It's going up through the courts, so it's a weird backwards time here right now.
Yeah. I don't understand really. I think there are more important things that if two persons in love want to marry.
Yeah, I don't understand why that
When
should
we
go from one election to another, from one president to another. People are people.
Peop-
They're always
yes,
the
that's
same.
it.
You always have the same issues no matter who's running the country, right?
I agree.
I was surprised that in such a strong Catholic country, you have more rights than we do.
Yes, but the thing is that our government for some years has been left wing. They've fought a lot, you know, for all this. We used to be a Catholic country, you know, having previous governments and with Franco dictatorship, etc. But our government is it's secular. So in that sense, for example, there is no religion in public schools. If you want to
Okay.
have your kids to, you know, to study the Bible, you go to private schools or subsidized.
No, there is no private. There is semi-private.
Yes,
Yes.
it's like kind of subsidized by the state, but they're religious schools. But yes, I think it's still a Catholic church, a Catholic country, if you compare it to other religions. We have now a great deal of immigration. So we also have, we coexist with people who come from Morocco, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran. And in that sense, things have changed to public schools.
Here in Alvariño, we have a lot of ¿cómo se llaman las mezquitas?
Oh, mosques. Yeah. I mean, I am for the melting pot. Totally. La unión de culturas.
Americano.
A lot.
Well, the United States is definitely a melting pot. There's no doubt about it.
That's right. Yes. Yes. And you don't decide. The choice that you don't have is where you are born.
That's right. That's right.
So it's a question of respect, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
I wanted to get to one other point before we sort of start wrapping up because I know we could just talk forever.
Forever. I'm enjoying this.
So it was wine time now.
Is it wine time?
Some wine.
I think some things people would find interesting, our audience would find interesting are, you know, what weighs families down a lot in the US is the cost of college is debilitating.
That
Yeah,
is
yeah.
something that has always attracted our attention. The incredible amount of money that is paid at American universities.
Incredible.
And it's true that if you get good scores, or maybe depending on how much you pay per year, you know, as taxes, you have reductions here, you get fees for free. And I think more or less is within everybody's reach, unless you have to leave your city and go elsewhere. And sometimes I've wondered, apart from the beautiful campus that you have, that Is the quality that university students are getting worth that money? That's my question, because you have something great. I remember Ellen, your sister, telling me about that there are some type of courses or university studies that are great and very attractive, because you can decide what you want to study, and you can create kind of your own course. Whereas here, you got this, that, and the other, and you cannot do something different. But I was always wondering, that whatever language or whatever knowledge someone from Mexico might be getting, or someone from Spain or in America, it's the same knowledge. Maybe the teachers or professors are far better, or the material, tools, campus, facilities make the difference. Is that what makes the difference? The quality.
And it depends on where you go. Not every college is astronomical, but it is out of reach for a lot of people. And I feel like the inflation, like it's risen at such a level that it used to be more affordable for families, and now we've reached this point. And to answer your question, I mean, I guess everyone would have a different answer, but in the end, people are people. You're going to have a good teacher, you're going to have a bad teacher, how much is it worth? Are you going to see that return on investment? I think what I'm getting at is that the picture of the American dream is we don't have the safety net to make it attainable for most people
Anymore.
anymore.
Yeah. So I went to school on Pell Grants back in the 80s, and I went to a very good school that I can't, it's so much more expensive now to send my kids there. But and a lot of that financial aid is gone now, and now with the latest antics with the current administration, even school loans are more difficult to get. So we're just like in this, like it just keeps getting harder and harder to get by.
Right.
But going back to the question about the price of our universities, I'm interested to know if it's related to the amount of research that's happening too, because like a lot of our big universities, there's a lot of research that's funded there. Do you have the same level of research your universities, and is that comparable?
Investigación. That's a good question. Because it's one of the things that we lack. And it's, no, que nos falta, that we don't have that much investment, in research. We have great oncologists, for example, and I think not. I don't
Okay.
think that we do have great teams and they're working, amazingly, but we need more investment. We're investing on things that, apart from all the corruption that we have, we are not investing on what we should. And still, we have very good researchers. And it's also true, as I said before, that we got a lot of brain drain. So once they are very, very well qualified, they've got more possibilities elsewhere.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's difficult for them to come back.
A country must pay the most for security, sanidad, healthcare, and education.
Okay.
Yes,
But they pay nothing.
These are the pillars, right?
Right.
Education and health, and the elderly as well.
Yeah.
In that sense, I think that we have an immense possibility of learning from the elderly. The elderly, our grandparents, who are very few left, little by little, and above all, also women, the women who had to deal with the family and the household. Those stories are also, I think, that great and should be kept and listened to.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes, I think that sometimes when you see someone who's over 90, I always think, where I am on the bus or someone mulling over, their memories. You can tell,
incredible.
In a bench that someone is thinking about something else. I would like to sit down and listen to that.
I remember
Yeah.
You're going to
a client I have, he came to see me not to buy anything, but to talk. about because here in Spain there are still villages where families don't talk with others because of the civil war.
Yeah.
1930s.
Incredible,
That's
and
interesting.
they're
I think
incredible.
those are, I think that really for me, the ones who take the credit are the women, who might be your mothers or grandmothers. And I think that we're very privileged, despite the fact that there's a lot to be done. And in 20 or 30 years, um, the people who came before me, the women who came before me, they did work very hard for me to be where I am right now.
That's
Yeah.
And no, and in that sense, for example, someone was talking about the other day about whether to go and vote, and this friend of mine said, I'm not going to vote because she doesn't like, any of the possibilities. And I said, I'm only going to vote for those British women who lost their lives asking for
Suffrage.
was the
Suffrage.
that's right.
Yes.
That's right. Just for
Yes.
them.
well.
I
And
love
for
that.
everyone who's for those who have made me be able to have their rights.
We started voting here in 75 and she says, my mother, I was the first woman who vote here, and I want you to vote to continue what I started.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as
I love
it's not
that.
as far as we think.
Yes. No, it's not that far. And
What year
also,
did women get the vote in Spain? What year was it?
I think it's 1975. I don't know.
I don't know, but
I
So
told you.
what was interesting is you had the right to vote before Franco, and then they took away the right to
right
vote.
with the
Oh.
it was the Republic. That's right.
Sí, es verdad.
The Republic at that time. If you read about that and do some research, our schools, public schools, the way everything was taught,
1977, excuse me.
freedom of speech, and the role of women was amazing in Spain. And then dictatorship and patriarchy, and they destroyed everything in just a few years. It's amazing, all the work done. So now go back to the trenches. I do remember you were not able to open a current account, for example, at the bank. You always had to be supported or, backed up by your husband, and you were not able to have any finances or anything. So in very little time, I think we've done quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I like this new generation of girls. I do like it. We should understand one another. I mean, we were in our 60s and there was this international language. It's like I had known them for a long time.
Yes.
And I think the older, the better.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. No
So,
nonsense.
I feel like this is like perfect time to ask the question since we're kind of touching around it already. So I don't know who wants to go first, but what does the matriarchy mean to you?
La matriarcado. What is not is all the thing against man. This is not.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we are more that the woman thinks. I said to my sister that women do not have 5 cents. We have 7. That's what I think. We have the one which is intuition. That thing that came just for a second and goes, but you have to know what it is.
Yep.
And the maternity, but aunque no seas madre.
Although you're not a mother.
Yes.
Like a sense of caring or...
Yes.
That sense of caring, even if you're not an actual mother. Yeah, it's this female need to take care of each other.
Yes, I think we have a very good couple, pareja, no? Between a man and a woman, but not in about love. It's about they have things, beautiful and great things to give us, and we have to learn from them, and they have a lot to learn from us. But it's not separated, And the thing is that in our case, with my mother, she was very strict. Yes, I really want a mother like Kathy's mother or a friend of ours, you know,
She was
because
strict too.
our
At the
mother,
time,
yes, at that time, yes. And, you know, she was very strict. The good thing that have a mother like that is that we are not
you're not what?
a strict mother.
No.
No,
Well,
no.
a little bit first.
Well, for the main things,
Teenage years.
perhaps, you know, yes. But
Well,
I think the power of a woman is more than separate from man. You know, it's something. It's more than inside.
yeah, yeah.
From 40, 50 years old, it's incredible to speak with woman. With woman, with it doesn't matter.
Without judging.
Yes,
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 without judgment. Yeah.
Without judgment.
yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And
Because with 30, 40, 20, you judge
yeah,
a lot.
yes, yes. That's I think the bad thing about sometimes about women, you know, that you have to go without any masks. But then we move on to another level. And it's when you discover the other person, you know, the sufferings.
From the
and
inside, that's what I say. The
Yes,
inside of the
yeah.
person.
Yeah.
You know, the soul, and that's.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know whether the word matriarchy comes from Latin or Greek, because it would mean mother or mater, maybe. So what you said for me is very interesting. It's not just the one who has made a family, because maybe they are not your even natural children. Maybe you're a foster mother. Maybe you are the aunt. Maybe you are a neighbor who never had the possibility of having children. So I think it's more than just giving birth. It's also this very invisible bond with someone who is from Lebanon, someone from Asia, and you discover these amazing angels within everybody. I think we all have one.
We are just one. No, solo somos uno.
Oh, we're just one.
Sí, that's the woman. We are all one because all are the same. It doesn't matter the outside or the achievements. We are the same.
Yeah.
Great.
We, as my mother said, that it was a very good sentence. I don't want happiness. I want
Tranquility.
Oh.
And
It's
that's
a kind
what
of
we
happiness.
want. That's what we want. I don't
And she
want.
had 7 children, so
Yes. Yes, that's it.
no
And
wonder.
she had 7 children, but she was not the grandmother who wants to stay with the grandkids. She said, I have 7 because I want to have, and I can have them. But if you want to have 7, you are going to have them, not me.
There you go.
Yeah, because this leads me, this takes me to something you said before.
And now she is grandmother, and she tells what I want her to tell.
Okay, I will now because my daughter is going to listen to this. Love you, Sarah. Well, yeah. Well, this leads me to Sarah and to what you said before, that you had these 6 weeks and you had to depend on grandmothers or not, but you would have to depend on them 24/7, I guess, or you had a babysitter. So I guess I don't know how you coped with that otherwise.
Not all of the grandparents want to be
Yeah.
24
Have that
hours.
responsibility. They did it. They did that already, right?
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
No.
So
Like
You
sometimes,
know?
you know, it's difficult. I have my job, she's got her job, and you try to be there all the time, but at the same time, you stop doing certain things, but you do it with love
yeah.
at the same
It's
time.
not easy.
Yeah, it was interesting to me when I was reading about like humans are one of only like 3 species that women go through menopause. And so why do we it's like humans, orcas, and
Because today is 25
chimpanzees. Yeah.
degrees.
But what was interesting to me is that it's like, so why do we do that? Like as a species, how is that helping us if we can't have more children? And it wasn't so much about the childcare as it was about sharing your knowledge. So sharing your wisdom, you know, and that is how we help as older women who are going through or raised a family or are, is sharing our experiences for the next generation.
Yes.
And that the child care was really more done, historically speaking, with other children and other young women. It wasn't the grandparents. And I'm like, yes, I'm in my dropping knowledge phase of life.
I'm here for it.
I'm here for it.
Que antes eran las abuelas,
Sí.
¿sabes? Y dice, pero ahora ya no.
No,
Ahora para nada.
ahora nada.
Yeah,
No.
just drop
Yeah,
knowledge.
drop knowledge
Make
and
your
walk
own
out
dinner.
the door.
No.
Todo de época, ¿eh? Yeah. And it's
So,
true.
well, I think this has been an amazing conversation.
It
Well,
has.
my
Oh,
goodness,
sí.
yes, almost 2 hours.
Muy
And
bien.
we had just begun.
I know, we could talk forever.
I
That was a
know.
It's been wonderful getting to know you, both of you.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Thank you,
you have to come
Kathy.
here. We have to
Okay.
come.
Lisa,
You have to come.
you
Yes,
have
All
please
right.
come visit.
here too.
Sí.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So now is the next part of the section is that you're going to talk behind our back, right?
Yep.
Porque, you have our permission. Porque ahora siguen hablando.
Ah, vale, okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's been fantastic. Really,
It
really.
really has. It
Thank
really
you very much.
has.
Muchas gracias.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Gracias.
All right,
Gracias.
bye.
Bye.
Thank you
So-
so
Bye.
much. Adios.
Adiós.
Adios.
Okay,
Adiós.
back to the studio. Back to you.
Bye. Oh my gosh. They are fun. I can see why. Thank you for bringing them on. They're lovely. I want to go to Spain now.
Oh, I'll
Mm.
take you.
Okay. All right.
We'll go live. The Matriarchy
We'll go
live from Spain.
Yes, on the road again. This time, Spain. Yeah.
I like
Oh,
how
that-
Elena's like, oh, now's the time when you talk behind our backs
Yeah.
now.
Well, I mean, she's kind of right. But we're nice. I think we're nice.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
We're just analyzing.
We're just analyzing. Wow, that was amazing. Like I was surprised by some things. I don't know about you, but
Mhm,
I think
same.
I think it's always interesting when you're a business owner and you have a different perspective. But the idea that if they hire a woman, they can't let her go until the child is 12. So that's interesting. I mean, on the one hand, like
Yeah.
I really love that for women, to have that security to be able to raise their kids in with a stable income and everything. But I could see as a business owner that could be kind of tricky. So
It is so far out of, we barely even let women
I know.
finish leaving the hospital
I know.
before they got to get back to answering their email.
I know. It's
To like 12
interesting.
years? Like 12 years?
12 years.
Like years?
Yeah.
Did you say years?
Yeah, 12 years. That's interesting. So, but I mean, I think there's some value to that program, but I wonder if there's a middle ground to be found here, you
Yeah,
know.
I think so.
Yeah. So, which is
Well-
usually the case.
Yeah. It's interesting. When I was in Spain, I was a little girl, I
Mhm.
was between the 4th and 8th grade. So I
Yeah.
didn't really see it from this lens at all.
Right.
And this was the 80s. So of course things have changed a lot. When I was talking to my sister, now my sister's 5 years older than me, her point of view as a teenager was a lot different than mine as a little girl.
Mhm.
When I was there, the first school I went to, I did go home for lunch. It was tough. You go from
Mhm.
9 to like 1:30, and then you have to go back to school from 4 to 6. Like, oof, there are a lot
That
of
is
days I
kinda
didn't want to
tough.
go back.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
tough.
it was tough. And but then my parents, they found a different school. They liked the second year, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't go home for lunch. So we had our 3-hour lunch there, like an hour and a half for lunch and
Oh.
then recess, and then we'd have
Oh, okay.
like a special, like at art.
3 hours.
But then you'd
That's
go
a long time. 3
I
hours?
know.
Yeah.
Oh, like lunch itself was a good 45 minutes in the cafeteria, and then another 40, and then another hour playing. And then, then you'd have like art or music or whatever.
Mm.
But then from 4 to 6, you are back at it. You are
Mm.
doing math. You are doing
Mm.
science. Like you're doing whatever. But
Well,
so I would be
yeah.
going to school from 9 to 6 as
Okay.
a little kid.
Mm.
So that day matches the work day whereas it doesn't for us.
Oh, no, exactly. It's always been curious to me how they always say that the reason we, have these schools set up the way they are is because of the workday, but it doesn't match. It doesn't match in our country. So,
Not
but
anymore. I mean, that might have
I,
been true in farm
yeah,
era, but
maybe, but I don't know. In any case, it is interesting that it matched the workday. So the parents would work the same amount of hours. They would also get the 3 hour siesta time too. Okay.
yeah, it's common that, I go over or stay at a friend's house. They wouldn't eat dinner till 9 or 10 at night
Yeah.
on a school night.
Yeah. No,
What is happening?
I think Mexico is the same. Yeah.
Yeah, but I will say for my recent trip, that break in the middle of the day, well, it was exceedingly hot. It like every day was in the high 90s or 100s. Um, but even so, it's not necessarily the heat that drives this. But the structure of the day, it begs you to slow down.
Yeah.
Like the stores close. It's not quite the same as when I was there in the 80s. In the 80s, the grocery stores shut down. Like everything, the banks closed, everything. Now, some of the retail places are open. I'm not sure about banks, but you can still like do some stuff.
Yeah.
But all the touristy places,
Yeah.
they're done.
Yeah.
Like you want to go shopping, like you might
Yeah.
as well just go back to your hotel. And so it forces that slowdown. It forces you to like engage in the middle of the day with your normal life, with your life outside of work. And so it's not, I'm watching the show Severance. So it's just like particular. You see that show on Apple TV? Like
No, it's like
they literally like, it's pretty good. I won't go
Okay.
off topic, but like,
Okay.
but the outside world and your home life are much more feel more integrated in Spain to me. It feels more, well, they, as two business owners had said, it feels more worker driven.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. And I think I'd like to try that, even as a business owner. I think it's difficult for us to understand exactly how they, perceive their life as it is hard for them to understand how we perceive ours. And maybe we just all focus on the hardest parts of our life, which is probably normal human behavior. But I do think that there's such a cost that we pay in this constant grind that we do, where even if you get an hour for lunch, most people are eating and maybe making some phone calls because they got to take care of personal business. Because when else are they going to take care of their personal business if they're working, 8 hours, 10 hours a day, or they're running an errand or whatever. There's a million. There's always something to do, and it would be interesting to try their way of life. I mean,
Yeah.
it
There's
sounds
things
good,
that we can incorporate. Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when I was like 22 and I got 4 weeks of vacation,
Oh,
like
yeah.
I felt like, I could take a day off
Mm-hmm.
just to unwind for a second. And I didn't even have kids, right? Like I'm sure everything felt important and urgent, but
Of course it is.
it was just me. Yeah, I mean it was, and I'm not, whatever. But I'm just saying like I could take a day off and not feel like this is a day I could have used
Yeah.
for vacation. You could go to your kid's game and, go to that, middle of the day thing that you'd have to take like a day of your precious vacation off. And it was liberating. It really was like it felt like it took off like you could breathe.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly it. And I think like it'd be interesting to understand the wages lost by women in our country because we can't breathe at these jobs and then, try to take care of children. Even if you only had one child, doesn't, one, two, three, four, even one child is very difficult when you can't breathe. Like you said, you don't have that extra time. And it's as if we're supposed to be robotic and, not need that extra time, because sometimes you just need a mental health day. Like, come on, like you just need to put your feet
Well,
up.
you're headed to burnout.
Yeah,
heading to burnout.
you really are. Which is a big reason why I left my career. And if I would have tracked the way I think I would have tracked in my career, I would have been making pretty good salary right now, and I lost all those years of wages, right? And when I tried to go back in after 10 years, they weren't so interested in me. It's like, wow. I mean, when I was there, I was doing great on a management track, but, after leaving, I guess that's a signal that I wasn't serious enough or something. I don't know what it was, but I think that's all built into that cultural idea, like what you're talking about, of integrating, your personal family life and work. And I'm ready for some changes. I'd like to see my daughters have a different situation than I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think things are getting better. I think COVID cracked a lot of things open,
Yeah.
especially with flexibility. But we got a long way to
Got a
go.
long
And
way to
I mean,
go.
leaving
Yeah.
a job when you don't have universal health care is so difficult.
It's
I mean,
impossible. It's
I don't think,
impossible, right?
yeah,
It's
I
basically
don't think
impossible.
people
Yeah.
here, we can even comprehend
Yeah.
the um the idea of a true safety net,
Yeah.
like the liberation
Mm-hmm.
that it gives you
Mm-hmm.
in your own personal choices.
Exactly.
And there's still that you have a job. Like when I lived in England, I had, access to the public healthcare system. I also had private insurance too.
Yeah.
Of course, I was 22. Who needs to see a doctor at 22?
Right. You're
You know
so
what I mean?
sure
But
you're going to be so healthy forever,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Guilty.
I mean, of course, I did experience a little bit of that, but not like when you have a family and you have, like, God forbid, a lot of health issues.
Yeah.
But it really is a net. It is a culture that takes care of other people,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to our very individualistic
Yeah.
society
Yeah.
that is very ableist. And it was interesting to me that those girls kept using the word privileged to describe their experience. Girls, women. I think I don't think you should have to feel privileged to have health care.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that we ought to be taking care of everyone in our society. I think for me, what was really interesting when I traveled a lot was coming home.
Mm-hmm.
And it really made me see my own culture through a different lens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's oscillated, and it made me realize, like, no system is perfect.
No.
And
Yeah.
we do some things really well, and
Sure.
we really don't do things well in other
In
ways.
other areas.
And I think that's part of the problem. Like, our safety net is insanely poor.
Yeah.
It is
It
difficult
is.
when we someone who works full time and qualifies for food stamps. I'm sorry, the system is not working.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And right now, it doesn't look like there's any help on the horizon, but I'm an
Yeah.
optimist. I'm always an optimist, and we need to keep fighting for these things. It certainly isn't going to happen if we don't fight for them. So we need collectively.
Amen, sister.
Amen. Yeah. So, well, this was really, really good. I just want to have one other note, that we need to make sure we find her book and get it when she gets it online. We could let people know where they could get it, especially once she translates it. But the other thing that I took a note on was, I love the idea of that women have 7 senses. And she added intuition and just the capacity to be maternal, whether or not. Yeah, I just love that. I love that point of view. So.
Well, what a lovely conversation.
It was great.
And thank you for being open to, I think this conversation was a lot different than our other podcasts.
Yeah, and I hope our listeners liked it. It's a little bit, in some ways, lighter than some of our other subjects, but I hope people found it interesting, because I did. I loved meeting your friends, Kath.
Thank you. It was awesome to see them. Hopefully they'll come visit in person.
Yeah, they just seem just so loving and full of life, and it was really nice. So don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, comment, share, any kind of thing you can
All the
do
things.
on
All the
any of our
engagement.
platforms, any engagement. It just helps us. It helps get the word out and share our podcast with other people. And other than that, welcome to the Matriarchy.
Welcome to our community.